Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think, again, obviously going into year 7 based on, where we were a few years ago, I think that everyone's a little more comfortable with where we're at and has, clear vision of what my role is and what I'm capable of doing. But I think in terms of the context of your question, we're still filling it out. And but I think so far, I think, some of the things that I have done as a route runner, and, I always go back to we're in the huddle and it's like, I know what the quarterback's thinking, right? And so, and I think that has shown up and has been advantageous for us. And so, look, this is just one of those things that continue to evolve, and we'll continue to see where it goes. And I'm sure by week 1, as we get to week 15, 14, 18, it'll look different.
What stood out to you about Jake Haener?
I think the biggest thing for a young quarterback is to come in and learn the offense. Like, this is a tough offense to pick up, and this is a system that's been around for a little while, and there's not a lot of rhyme or reason as to why we do some of the things that we do. But I think specifically with Jake is I think that he's done a really nice job of picking that up, and his presence in the huddle shows that. So the confidence that he has getting in the huddle, getting the play called, has been impressive. And, I think that confidence trickles over into his execution. And, it's really what you want to see from a young player.
Jason, yesterday Blake Gillikin said that you were the best personal protector in the NFL. He said he feels so confident how you can make all the calls and how you might change the signals and communication.
He's just buttering me up. That's all.
So how do you feel about more you can do, obviously, in that role still as a personal protector?
Yeah, look, I think the personal protector thing, I do think it creates a clear advantage for us, just having a quarterback. And, last year, I don't think we ran a fake last year, but there's always that possibility, And so as a team that has to prepare for that, that it's out there. We have them in every week, and we've shown that throughout the years. And so I think, man, that creates a clear advantage for us, and keeping a defense on their toes. And so I'm assuming that's what Blake is referencing.
Okay, so we've seen you kind of work in for individual quarterback reps over the last couple of weeks. Is that kind of the simulating game, like where you would be coming into that one rep?
I think right now in camp is, I kind of alluded to this earlier, is I think now going into year 7, we have a clear vision of what my role is going to be, what I'm going to be asked to do. And it's just trying to make sure that I'm getting those reps when we get to practice. So that's really what it boils down to.
You had mentioned last time we talked to you, you might spend some time in the running back room. Is that anything you've done yet?
No, I haven't spent any time with them. I've talked to a running backs coach, JT, and I have had a few conversations. And, there's always a tricky thing about, this combination of you don't want something to be overcoached, and my personality, I like to know, what it is. And I think we'll get into some of that, but I think the other side of it is, some of the stuff that I've done, we kind of just don't want to mess with it.
Well, when it gets explained to us why a quarterback running the ball gives you such a number, how many handoffs have you actually taken in your career? Like a small handful, maybe? Or?
Yeah, small handful.
Do you feel like you have a much better advantage when you're taking the snap and running?
I mean, my comfort level, just from a pure snap count, is way more comfortable. I'd rather just catch the snap and go, But, we've done a handful of those things over my time here, and I'm comfortable doing it. So that hasn't been an issue. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'll continue to explore that with JT and have. I think also, there's one thing about taking handoffs, but it's what the running backs are looking at, right? So they have different reads in the run scheme, and so that's kind of what I was alluding to about working with them. And I have a lot of conversations with those guys. I got a great relationship with our staff, and I try to make sure our T's are crossed and I's are dotted and stuff. So.
It seems like every year Juwan adds like a little bit more to his game. His numbers get better every year. You've seen that even again repeat itself this year. That like just a player just keeps kind of.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair thing to say about Juwan. You look back at his time here as a receiver, and then this transformation to tight end, and man, he is a guy that has continued to play, on that trajectory, and what he's doing in the run game right now has been huge, and he's really done a nice job there. And then the stuff he does in the pass game, he's always done that very well. He's always been a very natural route runner and stuff, and I think with players, that comfort level just continues to increase the more that you do it, and I think you just see a player that's getting more and more confident.
What would be your impression of Jimmy Graham?
I love Jimmy. Jimmy's been so fun to have around the locker room, in the tight ends room, meeting with him, and again, I just you can't replicate experience,
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Pretty good. Lonnie Johnson banged knees over there and then had a little cramping, but again, we'll evaluate him to see if there's anything, but we didn't think anything significant on the field. So I thought it was a good practice today. Again, a lot of situational work. We worked some short yardage. We worked some, move the ball, having to work substitutions, and also got down in the red zone and moved the ball a little bit. So it was good work.
Vince, what do you think of the connection Derek and Chris Olave have established so far, and how would you say their on-field relationship?
Yeah, look, I think it's been good. I think Chris is really coming along. I think he's improved a lot. It's been good to see him make some of those contested catches that we've talked about. He's still a great transitional route runner at the top of the route, and I think him and Derek have gotten a pretty decent rapport.
For a guy who had 1,000 yards as a rookie season, I'd say he improved a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, well, look, there's a reason why we went up and got him in the draft. We feel like he's got a chance to be a really good receiver in this league, and I think he's proven it.
Dennis, have you seen a step forward in this camp from Carl Anderson, would you say?
Yeah, I've seen a step forward with Carl just about every year he's been here. He's kind of gotten a little bit better each and every year. He's playing the run really well right now. He's playing really physical. He's always had the ability to kind of rush the passer. That's kind of been something that has been a trait of his that we've liked, but he's really improved himself as a run player. And look, that's, obviously a huge testament to him. I mean, here's a guy that, he comes in here, he's like 237 pounds when he gets here, and now he's up to about 282 pounds, and he's worked extremely hard. Just every day comes to work, does his job, and when you do that, you get better. And I think he's a guy that we're certainly going to be counting on this year.
You said like 2 weeks ago that you wanted somebody to grab the other defensive end spot opposite of Cam Jordan. Do you feel better about that spot maybe than you did 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, look, I feel good about that spot. I mean, I don't know that we're ready to make any decisions yet because I think Peyton Turner's played really well. I think Tano's had a good camp, so I think that's a position that we've got some depth at that position. And so, yeah, I think that's good.
What would just be your evaluation of Foskey so far with some of the stuff maybe you're looking to?
Yeah, I'd say still a work in progress. I think ultimately, I'd just like to see him just cut it loose. I still think he's trying to process a little bit. He's got a really good skill set. He's a good kid. He works hard. I think that just comes with time and comes with reps and comes with being comfortable in the system, knowing exactly what to do and how to do it. And so, look, he's improving. He's getting better. He's not there yet. But I like his trajectory. I like what he's doing. I just think ultimately as he gets more and more reps, he'll get more and more comfortable and start to cut it loose a little bit more.
Dennis, we haven't seen any of the after the whistle stuff with Trevor this year. Was that something that y'all?
We had a little bit of it today, but nothing,
Right.
nothing too spectacular.
That was everybody's looking for it last year, and it hasn't really.
Yeah, I actually think people made way too much of it. We talk about the after the whistle stuff. Look, the guy plays hard, and he's going to block you all the way down the field, and that's what we want, So, yeah, I don't think too much about it, really, to be honest with you.
But I guess the question was more: did you all try to maybe tone down a little bit of it to?
No.
Have you seen growth from him in the pass protection side?
Yeah, I have. Again, he's not there yet, but he's getting closer and closer every single day. And so he's missed a lot of time. So he needs those reps. He needs that work. He'll get plenty throughout this camp and in the preseason. And I think he'll be ready to go by the time we get to week 1.
Sticking on the offensive line, UDFA coming out of one of the HBCUs, Mark Evans. What do you see from him so far?
Yeah, I think he's an athletic player inside. He's got some power. He's working hard, and I've seen some good things, and with a lot of these rookies, whether they're undrafted free agents or they're draft choices, there's going to be some roller coaster. There's going to be some ups and some downs, but really what you're looking for is the number one thing is you're looking for some of the flashes, which I've seen out of him, and now it's really just about getting more consistent.
You seem to kind of manage the adversity of not always succeeding. I imagine that's a big part of that growth.
Yeah, I think it's that way for a lot of guys. Look, Nick Saldiveri is a kid we drafted out of Old Dominion, and he's dealing with some of the same ups and downs, and yet you see some of the flashes, and hopefully as we continue to get more reps and they get into some of these preseason games, you can start to see a little bit more consistency out of those guys.
Dennis, you guys are going to be in the Dome tomorrow. Do you guys think we change anything in practice, or is there going to be an emphasis somewhere different, just being in the Dome?
No, not really. I mean, I think part of it is just, there's a new turf out there, so we're going to get a little bit of a feel for that. Let everybody, we got some new players, so let everybody get in and get a sense for what the Dome's like, the lighting, all those types of things. Still a lot of situational work tomorrow. Some of these guys that have never been here, probably get them over there and let them take a look at the locker room just so they know the lay of the land. And
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health Systems Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Yeah, Zach's been with me through thick and thin. Obviously, Will missed 2021, my first year playing. And Zach was kind of that veteran presence for me that I really needed. It's just great to see him rewarded for his hard work and success. It's an underappreciated position 1,000 times over. So, and you see it, like, people don't turn over long snappers a lot. It's because it's hard to find a good one. And he's a really good one. Good person, great guy to come to work with every day, great friend. So just really happy for him.
How do you view getting competition at training camp, having them bring in another partner? Like, how do you look at that? I mean, some years are obviously going to do that, some years are not.
Yeah. I mean, every year I've had competition, whether it's in OTAs or camp. So this is 4 years running. And I think it's almost easier to have competition than to not, because you kind of have a way to gauge yourself against someone else. Obviously, we're punting every single day, either me or Lou, so it's good to get that kind of work and kind of measure yourself against someone else on a practice field before you go into a game. I think we just push each other every single day. I think it's good. Lou's really talented. Obviously, you see that. He punts a little bit different stylistically than I do. So it's good to kind of get that, stylistic difference and kind of learn new tricks sometimes.
How would you grade where you are right now and how you feel you've done this game?
Yeah, I feel like I've hit the ball pretty good. Obviously, I'm working on stuff like everybody on the field. Sometimes doesn't translate to the periods well, but that's kind of why you work through it during practice and getting ready for the preseason games. Hopefully those go well, and that's kind of what you're preparing for.
Like, what's kind of your big focus this offseason? What did you want to kind of there later on?
Yeah, last offseason I was hurt for 3 months.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was really concerned about getting my body right during the offseason, and not really on my punting technique. And I feel like I've really been able to hone in on different things I want to work on this offseason. Just really the consistency right in all situations of the game. I don't really treat situationally different during a game because every punt's a big punt to me. But obviously last year there was a couple times late in the game that I didn't really deliver for the team, and that's really unacceptable on my end. Just trying to really build that trust between myself and the coaching staff that I can deliver in those moments has been big for me. And that's really just about getting comfortable with my technique, being able to rely on that in pressure situations.
So, like, if you're able to not have like a full healthy offseason, like when do you
Right.
when do you start diving into that? Like, how much time did you give yourself off before you?
Well, I take about 2.5 months off in the off season before I start punting again, and then kind of just start working things week by week. Go out there with the plan every single day, and obviously now it's kind of time to lay it on the line and go do it in the game.
So, as a punter, how often do you find yourself trying to add things to your game? Because I feel like there's a point where it's like, okay, I do everything that I need to do and I do it well.
Mm-hmm.
But are there times you see stuff that you just kind of incorporate?
There's new stuff that's come about the last couple of years. Guys are starting to hit helicopter punts,
Yeah.
which are really tough to catch. Johnny Hecker was the first to do it in the game. He now plays for Carolina, so we see him twice a year, and he's done it against us. So just kind of trying to incorporate that in my game also,
And that's
whether we need
when
it.
spins.
Yeah, so you have your spiral punt, you have your end over end punt, which spins backwards.
Yeah.
Helicopter punt, you kind of drop sideways and it spins to the right. It's supposed to kick to the right. And those are really tough to catch for the returner because they go up this way and then snap back down at the end. So whether using that in just a regular game situation or when we need a turnover on the punt team, just kind of adding that to my arsenal has been kind of a focus this offseason.
Kind of noticing today too, when you were working on that, posting your in, you're going for the end over end rather than trying to turn it over if you're farther back in the field.
Right. Yeah, I think everyone in the league at this point, once you're over the 50, you're hitting end over end punts. Just so much easier to control. Obviously, it used to be the coffin corner punts, spirals, but it's more consistent to do it distance control wise and directionally. Because if the ball doesn't turn over while you're hitting the spiral, the difference is 20 yards, whether or not it's going to be on the sideline or in the middle of the field. So, yeah, most everyone's doing that nowadays.
This might be a dumb question, but there's got to be a point where you also bring in everybody else into that too, because they need to know what type of punt you're sending down this. How does that kind of communicate?
Yeah, I mean, we have different calls in games. I'm not going to give you our calls. Yeah, the gunners are always on the same page as I am. Taysom's the best PP in the league, personal protector. So that makes it really, really easy for me. Obviously, reading defenses and reading rushes is very, very similar. So we kind of decide what punt we're going to hit based on that, based on whether the gunners are getting viced or not. Then we're always on the same page with each other. You see a signal during games, different signals, which we change every week, so people can watch them all they want, but we change them. And it's just, yeah, we're always on the same page, and it makes it easy on me because obviously we have great gunners out there. JT is an all-pro. We got some really good guys in camp getting good work.
Will was talking about battling back from injury, like just feeling a lot more comfortable this year. Just what have you seen from him this camp?
Just a lot of confidence. You know, last year he was really, really just trying to get his body right every single week. Nothing, kind of the same way with me. We're just trying to figure out a way to get to Sunday and feel really good. And this year, his leg looks really live. He's really confident in practice, outside of practice. And I think for a kicker, confidence is everything. Because if you see the ball go through the pipes and you're not really sure why it did, you're not really guaranteed to do it again. So I think he's really, worked really hard this offseason, getting his body right, getting really confident. And I think, operationally, we're really good right now.
Does he intentionally go for that hole in the middle?
So depending on where we're kicking from, it's actually not in the middle. So it could be a little bit off center, but the one he hit today was dead center. Actually, we were supposed to go punt with each other in July, but the plans fell through.